Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's video, we will be talking about Frank Martin's interview that he did on Queens of the Ring, responding to Shakur Stevenson and all the things that he's been putting out in the media lately about him ducking the fight. But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as we go through the video. So, Frank Martin finally came out and addressed Shakur Stevenson and the things that he's been saying the past couple weeks about him ducking the fight that was supposed to happen. Now, if you go back and you check my last video about the fight, I said that I believe that Shakur Martin, did I believe that Frank Martin ducked the fight? You know, like I gave my 2 cents on that. Frank Martin goes Shakur Stevenson. Go back and watch that video, and then come back and watch this video. So, in the interview with Queens of the Ring, Frank Martin addresses the issue about him ducking the fight. And he says that, of course, he wants the fight. Basically says, yeah, I want the fight. I mean, I'll fight him. It's not like I'm scared of him. Like, oh, I don't want to fight him. He's a boogeyman. Like, of course I'll fight him. Like, that's what's up. Let's fight. Let's do it. And so they proceed to ask him, you know, basically what happened. Why did the fight break down the way the fight broke down? And he said he pretty much agreed to everything except for the money. And he had an issue with the $1 million that he was being offered, because people saying, yeah, take the money, it's $1 million. But, like, for real, let's be for real. It's not like I'm going to get this $1 million in my hand. I'm just going to have $1 million. Taxes, pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that. And it's looking like that this $1 million, in addition to agreeing to the place and to everything else and all of your other demands, is not what I want to do. It's not worth the risk. So pay me this, and then it can happen. Boom. Pay me this, and it can happen. That's it. This is the only issue that I'm having. Now, he also addressed the fact that he wasn't asking for 50-50, like Shakur said. So he let it be known that Shakur was doing a lot of capping throughout this process. And back to what he was saying. So then he said, you know, this is what I was asking for. If they would have gave it to me, the fight would have happened. I agreed to everything else, but I just wanted a little bit more for the risk that I was taking. So then they also proceeded to ask him, you know, how do you feel about what was said in the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast with Wallow and Gilly? And he said, basically, you know, that's some bitch ass shit. Like, I don't appreciate that. Like, why are you on here calling me names, not only calling me names, calling me out of my name because the business didn't go right between our fight? Like, why are you acting like that? Like, why are you that upset about that? So he addressed that issue. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't come at Shakur. He didn't get disrespectful with Shakur. He didn't get on there cussing Shakur out. And he handled the interview. He handled the response. He handled the situation in a very mature manner, just to give my 2 cents. And so, just to give my 2 cents about the whole situation. And again, did Frank Martin duck the fight? That depends on what a duck is to you. If somebody offer you something and you don't agree to it and don't take the fight, then you duck, then it's a duck to you. Now, if somebody offer you something and you're asking for something that you know is most likely not going to be agreed upon, and you know you're not going to get it, to me, then yes, that's a duck. So, to me, I don't think Frank Martin ducked Shakur Stevenson. I think that the business just didn't go right, and they didn't want to give him what he was asking for. And he was like, no, I want more. Now, some people say, well, the fight didn't go to purse bid, this and that. Basically, that everything was already agreed to. And when it came time to sign, you didn't sign it. You asked for more money. So some people say, well, then, yeah, that's a duck. Like, you had already agreed to everything. And then maybe you sat back and was like, you know what? I think I want a little bit more money. Hey, let me get this, and that. So some people say, me, that's a duck. Maybe he tried to use that as a negotiation tactic. Like, let me go through all of this, and then boom, when the time comes, let me ask for more, a little bit more than what they offering me, and then we can get the fight made. It could have been a negotiation tactic. He could have been, if he might have been like, yeah, that's $1 million, that's the most I want, then let me get it. And then he could have been advised otherwise. You've just seen what happened when fighters go against what they are being advised to do. We just seen an example of that with his promoter, Earl the True Spence Jr. So for Earl Spence to let Frank Martin make the same mistake he made, he's not going to do that. Or something similar to the same mistake he made, he's not going to do that. So Frank Martin says he asked for a little bit more money. Like, he know you got the belts in the other divisions and all the accolades you got, but that doesn't mean you can lowball me or not pay me for taking this type of risk. We already having a fight where you want to have the fight. We already going to have the judge you want to have. You already going to have you are already going to have all the advantages. All I'm asking for is, if I'm going to take that type of risk, I'm going to ask for a little bit more money. And then now you hopping online, calling me all kind of B's, and I'm the biggest B you know, and all of that. Like, why are you doing that? I don't understand why that was even necessary. Because you out here exposing boxing business, and this is my 2 cents. This is what I think the issue is. You out here exposing boxing business, talking about you DM somebody and sent them the numbers, and none of you ain't sending no numbers, Shakur. Like, what numbers are you sending, Shakur? What power do you have to change those numbers? What power do you have to negotiate with those numbers? Like, you got people out here that don't really understand how this works, thinking that you can do stuff like that, and it doesn't make any sense. So I'm glad Frank Martin came out and addressed this and said what he had to say about it. And it was simple what he said. I agreed to everything. I was just asking for a little bit more money. Now, if Frank Martin had a history of doing this, or this how Frank Martin do to get out of fights, he doesn't do that. And a lot of people don't want to give Frank Martin credit for the people that he has fought throughout the time he's been in the division. Frank Martin has fought top prospects. Frank Martin has fought Olympians. He's not being built over there. He's being developed. So he's fighting tough competition. And for you to ask him to take an offer that he doesn't feel is good enough for him to take the risk, and then when he does, you bash him and call him a duck, like, just to give my 2 cents, that doesn't make any sense. When you just had the same situation with Devin Haney, and that's what makes this even more like, what is going on? Because you just had the same situation with Devin Haney. Now, also, I want to say, on the flip side of that, I don't think Frank Martin can be turning down too many title shot opportunities. We know you got started late. You're an older prospect in the division. Like, I don't know, how often you can be turning down opportunities like that. So it's like I'm at a hard spot. Like, since I can't be turning down opportunities like that, I also don't need to be taking less money and a big risk when I feel like I deserve more. So we kind of look at it from Frank Martin's perspective, or his team's perspective. Should we risk him going in there for this amount of money where he feels like he deserves more, and then he loses to Shakur and he gets swept under the rug? Because for some reason, that's how people want to do people when they take a loss. Or should we continue to build him up to get an even bigger fight with an even bigger name fighter to get a bigger payday? See, it depends on what Frank Martin is looking for. Is he looking for to be a champion, or is he looking for a big payday? And maybe he can get the shot and opportunity at both. So everybody's saying, oh, it was for a vacant belt, it was for a vacant WB. So, well, maybe that's not his goal. He would like to have a belt, maybe, but he would rather have that big payday and take the risk. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents about the situation. Is Frank Martin a duck? I mean, it's subjective. It's subjective, because to me, when you're a duck in negotiations is when you're asking for things that you know is unreasonable and that you know you're not going to get. So let me know what you think about the situation by dropping your 2 cents below in the comments. Be sure to help support the channel by punching that like and subscribe button. Follow me on IG at 2 Cents Boxing, and follow me on Twitter or X at 2 Cents 20. I'm Jay, and stay tuned for my 2 cents in the next video. Peace.